Hi everyone, my name is Michaeline and this is one of my sons, Sebastian, and we're going to do a little object lesson. What you're going to need, you can do this at home, what you're going to need is a clear glass of water, pepper, like from a pepper shaker, and some dish soap. Any kind will work. Alright, you can gather your items or you can go ahead and do this lesson with us. Today we are going to talk about bad choices. Let's imagine that this glass of water represents someone's life. The person is doing pretty well, but then he starts to make bad choices. If you have your pepper, the pepper is going to represent the bad choices. And every time you say a bad choice, you're going to tap some pepper into the water. All right, here we go. The person cheats on a test. The person tells a lie. The person hurts someone on purpose. The person steals a candy bar. The person doesn't obey his parents. And this person doesn't honor or obey God. Look at this person's life now. That's pretty disgusting. That's what usually happens when we make bad choices. Things get all messed up. After our Bible story, we'll find out what might happen if this person starts to make good choices. We'll learn that we should choose to obey God. Today's Bible story comes from the book of Jonah. I'm going to read from chapter 1, starting in verse 1. Now the word of the Lord came to Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and call out against it, for their evil has come up before me. Let's learn about what Jonah's choices were. Were they good choices or bad choices? Okay, here we go. Let me introduce you to Jonah. Jonah was one of God's prophets. God spoke to Jonah, and then Jonah told the people what God was going to do and what God wanted them to do. One day, God spoke to Jonah. Jonah, I want you to go to the city of Nineveh. Preach to the people. They are doing evil things. Now Jonah had a choice to make.
Should I go to Nineveh as God said, or should I go to Tarshish? I don't want to preach to those evil people. I'm going to Tarshish. Maybe God won't see where I went.
Tarshish was about 2,500 miles away. So Jonah got on a ship headed to Tarshish. Jonah made a bad choice. He disobeyed God. When the ship got out to sea, God sent a strong wind. The wind made such huge waves that the ship almost broke apart. All the sailors were afraid. They began praying to their own pretend gods. They threw cargo into the sea to make the ship lighter. They threw cargo into the sea to make the ship lighter. He was sound asleep. Where was Jonah during all this? He was sound asleep.
And start praying to your God. Maybe He will see us and keep us from dying. I serve the God who made both the sea and the land. I have been running from the Lord. What table routine have you done? What should we do to you?
The wind was getting stronger. The sailors knew the ship couldn't last much longer.
Throw me overboard and seas will be calm.
The sailors didn't want to do that to Jonah. They tried to row back to land, but the sea was getting even wilder than before. Finally, the sailors picked Jonah up and threw him overboard. The sea became calm. The winds died down. Then God had a huge fish come and swallow Jonah.
God, I was singing. I called to you. You listened to me. I will praise you. I will keep my promise to you. I will tell others about
3
you.
days and nights, God told that fish to spit out Jonah onto dry land. For 3 days, Jonah preached and told the people what God had said.
God. The people believed God. They showed God that they were sorry and they stopped doing evil things.
Jonah sinned when he disobeyed God and tried to run away from him. But inside the fish, Jonah repented. He obeyed God and he went to Nineveh. If you want to know more about this story, I really suggest you read the whole book of Jonah. It is only 4 chapters long, and that's about 3 pages in my Bible. No matter what, though, we should choose to obey God. All right, see you next time. Earlier we learned that when we make bad choices, things usually get messed up. Let's imagine again that this glass represents a person who has made bad choices. We're going to put a few more bad choices in there. Now the person wants to stop doing things his way and start doing things God's way. Let's get our dish soap. The person is ready to repent. Do you know what happens when people repent? God hears their prayers and forgives their sins. They can start living for God again.
It's scattered.
It took Jonah a while to admit that he had made a bad choice. But when Jonah prayed to God, God listened and saved Jonah's life. Then Jonah chose to obey God. We should choose to obey God too. Our problems may not scatter and go away as quickly as the pepper scattered, but God will help us when we choose His way. Right, Sebastian?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bye, everyone. Let's remember our memory verse for this week. Fear the Lord and serve Him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things He has done for you. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 24.